Hey everyone, this is Shreyas and back to you with another video. In this video, as you saw in the title, we are going to review the Galaxy Buds 2. Now these are a pair of earbuds from Samsung after a lot of attempts, and I feel these are a really compelling pair of earbuds if you're looking for something around the 10,000 rupee mark. Now they do sell for 12,000 originally. You might get offers to buy them at a slightly lower price with card offers. So check them out in the link below, and you can use my referral code to get 5% off on these as well, probably, which I will link down below. And these buds actually have a lot going for them, which made me really happy for primary usages, and I'll tell you about those throughout the span of the video. And there are some things which personally bothered me, but I think that for most people it won't be a botheration, which makes these a very good pair of earbuds for them. Finally, obviously, as I mentioned, I'm going to be comparing these three pairs of earbuds, which is the OnePlus Buds Pro, Pixel Buds A and the Galaxy Buds 2, because they are in and around the price range of 10,000 rupees. So make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out that video, because I always think that a comparison will help you decide what should be a priority for you and make a decision accordingly, which I will try to break down very nicely in that particular video. So with that said, this is Shreyas and let's check that out. So over a year back, Samsung released the Galaxy Buds Plus, which I bought, and these were a pretty good standard pair of earbuds for not for the price it was launched at, but given offers it was pretty good for its price. And now Samsung came up with the Galaxy Buds 2. I feel it's a successor to the Galaxy Buds Plus. Now the Galaxy Buds 2 actually cost around $150, but they again have a lot of promotions going on, and you have student and employee discounts which could bring the price of these down to around 10,000. So keep that in mind when you're trying to purchase the Galaxy Buds 2, and I will mention my links down below. You can check it out on Amazon. Alright, now moving on, let's get to the build quality and design. Now build quality is something I'm really happy with because the hinge of the case is very good. The buds feel substantial as well, and the materials used are pretty good. Although they're plastic, they feel solid and not cheap at all, and you do feel that you bought a premium pair of earbuds. The magnets inside are strong. They snap the buds in very strongly, and even if you shake it, they won't just fall off of the case, which is a great thing. Apart from that, I'm a fan of this hinge. It's pretty nice, and the magnets closing the hinge is also pretty strong. If you want, you can open it with one hand, although it will be a bit of finger gymnastics, but you can if that matters to you. Apart from that, what I do have a complaint about the design is that all of these are glossy in nature, both the case and the buds. Now I don't mind it, but I noticed that when I put these in my jeans pocket or something, lint and a bit of small fabrics very easily stick to it. Now that did not happen with my matte cases of the Pixel Buds A or the OnePlus Buds Pro, but it was the case over here, and wiping it just does not easily get them off as well, because I don't know, electrostatic or whatever, they just stick to the case. One good thing is for the case being white is that fingerprints are not as visible on the case, but they do exist and they easily attract fingerprints, especially if you have greasy hands. Now to the buds, I think the buds are pretty well made, and they are pretty small in size as well. Given how much hardware is inside, I think the size is pretty respectable. The problem which I faced is that they do go in the ear very easily, but when you're trying to take them out, because these edges are very rounded and curved, also the surface is completely glossy, you don't really have any ear fin or something to grab onto. It's tough to take them out, and sometimes when you are doing so, it might just slip out of your fingers. Not a deal breaker at all, but something you should keep in mind, because it almost happened that I dropped these because they slipped out of my fingers. But overall, with the build quality, I'm really happy about it. About the design, I wish they were matte in nature, to be honest. Now let's move on to the ear fit and comfort. Now this is something that is completely subjective, but for me, given that I have large ears, they fit really nice, and you can just twist them to seal it, and you can see that how they look in my ear. They look really tiny given other buds that I have tried on. So I did not have any ear fatigue myself, and the silicone tips on these are pretty soft and nice. Try them out, and there is a earbud fit test as well to know if they are fitting you right. Because the earbuds are so small, if you have smaller ears as well, they will fit easily and not look very odd or huge compared to some other earbuds in the market. But yeah, overall these are a comfortable pair of earbuds for me personally, and I will always recommend you to try them out to know. Alright, so now we are taking a lot of calls and Zoom meetings. So here's a mic recording from the Galaxy Buds Plus. Now you're hearing my voice from the Galaxy Buds 2. So this is how they sound. Let me know how my voice sounds. I am again in a comparatively very controlled environment. So, but the only difference is that like the OnePlus Buds Pro made my voice sound very robotic. Let me know if my voice sounds natural over here or not. And to find out how they compare with the OnePlus Buds Pro and the Pixel Buds A, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out the comparison between the mic quality of these buds as well. Now about battery and charging. So it can charge via USB-C and wireless charging as well, which is pretty good. The other thing is that the buds have cut down on the battery life compared to the Galaxy Buds Plus. Now the Galaxy Buds Plus had an incredible battery life, especially on the buds. They lasted easily at least 10 hours. But on these, because they have ANC and other features going for it, and the form factor of the buds are small as well, I think it's decent battery life. It's just according to the industry standard, which is around 5 hours. I got exactly 5 hours while listening to music with ANC on at 70% volume approximately. It varied between 60 to 80%. I think this is the worst case scenario because I had both ANC on and I was having a variety of volumes listening to it, and I listened to a lot of things like movies, podcasts and music as well of different genres. So I think these are pretty good in terms of its battery life. And the case adds on another around 20 hours. You can charge them around 4 to 5 times in the case. So you get approximately 24 to 26 hours of battery life totally on the case if you're using ANC all the time. Now let's talk about the sound quality. Now honestly, these buds actually do sound good. I find the sound signature of these buds to be very balanced, and I personally liked it because the OnePlus Buds Pro were extremely bass heavy, and sometimes for certain type of content like movies or somewhere where you have a lot of dialogue like podcasts, it can get annoying after a while. Whereas these really sound good. Not just that, you have a series of sound EQ settings in the Galaxy Wearable app, which I'll come to later on as well. I feel the dynamic sound mode is going to suit most people for most type of content. Even in normal mode, and when you do the bass boost mode also, it does not completely eat up the other frequencies. So I feel these are balanced sounding earbuds comparatively, and I really like them. The sound signature is comparable to the Pixel Buds A actually, which I really enjoyed overall. The only thing is that this gets another feature with it, which is the ANC. Now the ANC is something which I personally enjoyed it, but I felt that the ANC could have been a bit better. If I want to compare the ANC between the OnePlus Buds Pro and the Samsung Galaxy Buds 2, stay tuned for my next video. But it is good enough. It obviously just subdues mostly the lower frequencies, and with around 70% volume, it drowns down most of the noises you might expect. So ANC by itself could have been a bit better, but it's not a deal breaker at all. I feel they are pretty good for the price they are offered in. Let's come to the controls. Now one thing I want to mention about the controls is that these buds are really rounded in shape. So I did initially miss out on the touch target because there is nothing separating it, to be honest, and that was a bit tough because in the Pixel Buds A, the whole outer surface is something that was touch sensitive. Now sometimes I tapped near to the mic of the buds or to the bottom edge and they did not respond. So it took me a couple of days to get used to where to touch exactly, but if you get that right, the touch responsiveness is pretty good. Now you cannot customize a whole lot in terms of touch controls. Now I showed the setup process and what are the touch controls while doing my unboxing and first impressions video, which you can find it up in the card over here. But the good part is you can completely turn off touch gestures. Another part which I really liked is when you go into the touch pattern menu, you can disable a certain touch gesture, like you can disable single tap to a hole. Although you cannot remap single tap to something else, you can just disable single tap, double tap, triple tap or any of the gestures. But the only customizable touch gesture is tap and hold. But the good part is here that you can set it to volume up and down with the right and left earbud, which could give you volume controls on the earbuds, which is tough with most of the other earbuds I have tried till now. The other part is that if you choose voice command, for example, for your choice of assistant, which hopefully isn't Bixby, you can assign the same, but then you lose volume control as a whole. You can keep two different controls on the left and the earbud when you choose voice command and switching between ANC modes. In ANC modes also, you can't go between all three modes, you can only choose two. For example, ANC on and off. Now I personally set it to ambient mode and ANC on because I don't see a point of ANC off unless it's bothering you. For that, it's pretty useful, but I wish you could just go between all three of the profiles. With that said, let's come to the app, which is an integral part of all of your earbuds, to be honest. You need the Galaxy Wearable app to get the most of these earbuds and do any of the customizations I mentioned. Obviously, it's a typical Samsung app, so you have to go through the Samsung things like have a Samsung account, you need to sign up with those, and you need to link your earbuds with them to make them work. Now that's a lot of work. Not just that, you need to download a particular plugin for the Galaxy Buds 2 specifically. Now what really bothered me is that when I was setting these earbuds up, first you had to give your precise location permission all the time. Without that, I could not link the buds. I tried every iteration with approximate location, which is a feature in Android 12 now. You could not just access the app or link the Galaxy Buds 2 with any of the phone without letting that permission happen. What bothered me is that you have no use for it, because even the OnePlus Buds Pro and the Pixel Buds A have a Find Buds feature, which gives you a precise location on a map to find and identify where you have left out these buds. But that feature is non-existent on these if you don't use a Samsung device. Now for a Samsung device, you do have a link with SmartThings, which will help you find these buds in the map how you expect on Find My on Apple or Find My device on Android. But that does not exist with other phones if you are using these Galaxy Buds Plus. So why use that location feature? I don't know. Now that personally bothered me. Otherwise, I don't think it will really bother someone else. But I later on went and disabled that permission. I don't know why the app isn't allowed to function without that particular permission when you have no use for it. By the way, the Find My Earbuds functionality for the Galaxy Buds 2 with a non-Samsung device, only that it will beep a certain sound so that you can hear and find it. No other type of tracking is available for it. I'll explain more in comparison with the OnePlus Buds Pro and the Pixel Buds A in the comparison video I mentioned. Now overall, I feel the app is pretty nice. It looks nice. The equalizer setting is something that I liked. You have a fixed number of equalizer settings. You don't really have a EQ wave, but given that most people have no idea how to use it or something, I understand why OEMs decide to not include a deep EQ setting over here with a lot of flexibility in all the frequencies. I get that. The good part is that the EQs are well made. I feel they deliver on what they mention. Personally, I like the dynamic mode for most type of songs and content I watch or listen to. There are other small features like ambient mode during calls, which will automatically turn it on so that you're not shouting at the top of your voice because ANC is on and you feel the other person can't hear you. Then you have a read aloud feature, which is total trash in my opinion. It does not let you enable it for most of the apps, and I don't know why. And even if you can, they just read out like missed call or message, nothing about who is it from or what, although it will take your notification permission settings to make this feature work. I find it kind of pointless. And you have something called as lab setting, where you have a double tap on the edge of the earbuds. Now this existed for the Galaxy Buds Plus and you could assign a functionality to it. Now with Samsung phones, you get two more additional features over here, which is one would be the game mode, which could be useful for you. You do not get this on other phones as of now. The other part is voice call out Bixby. So if you remember my Pixel Buds A review, which you can see, you could call out Google Assistant hands-free, which was very useful. Now, if you use Bixby and you find it useful, you can, if you have it with a Samsung device, you can use Bixby hands-free, just like how you could use the Google Assistant with the Pixel Buds A. You could do the Google Assistant with any Android phone using the Pixel Buds A, whereas for hands-free Bixby, you always need to have a Samsung phone to make it work. Now, I mentioned that you had to download a plugin to make these work with the Galaxy Wearable app. Now, the advantage of it is that you get a very nice looking widget with it. You have two functionalities on it primarily. You can block all the touch controls over there, or you could switch between ANC on, off and ambient mode with the widget. I think it looks pretty nice and it's a concise widget. Another thing I appreciate is in the app or using it with any other phone, in the Bluetooth menu, you get a precise battery level of the buds. When you have the buds in the case, it shows the battery percentage of the buds and the case, especially in the Galaxy Wearable app or the widget I mentioned. Now, another thing is with the cool integration of Samsung and Windows. You get an app and a plugin for your Windows device as well. You will pair them and you can control the settings like EQ, ANC, etc. from the Windows app itself. So that's my verdict with the Samsung earbuds. They are really good if you pair it with a Samsung device because you get a couple of useful additional features. But otherwise as well, with the other OEMs, it's not really crippled because nobody I know uses Bixby, to be honest, and it's not really reliable. And the other part is that gaming mode is something that could enhance your experience, but I don't think you should be using TWS to game on anyway if you're serious about it. And I overall enjoyed the sound signature of these and loved listening to music on them. So that's been it for the Galaxy Buds 2 review. I hope you liked it. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you know when I do the final comparison between the 3 earbuds I mentioned. And that's it for this particular video. Thank you for watching and I'll catch you in the next one.